Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now. I don't know where I'm going with this vlog yet. And I would ask that as this unfolds, you treat the situation with the respect it deserves, and you treat me with the respect that you would expect if you've ever been in a similar situation. And I would expect that this is a topic that has impacted everybody, and if not yet, then it will at some point in your life. I'm choosing to share this because this was a great part of my life. And it shaped me in a very profound way. It's a topic that is taboo to many, and I hesitate to step into waters that would be sensitive for some, and I don't even know if I'm ever going to be able to watch this video again after I do it. My grandfather at 3:45 Central Time, at 98 years old, passed away. I grew up with him, and when I say that, I mean we go over to my grandparents' house often, spending many summer days there. He was my grandpa. You may have seen the video that my parents did with him a couple of years ago, titled World's Oldest Geek. And if you want to know where it comes from in me, I think it's from him. Because, boy, he was a geek, at the time. Repaired televisions, radios, operated towers, a ham operator. He didn't have a home office, he had a workshop. Which I'm kind of thinking I should probably call my office now, because it's kind of like a workshop more than an office. I'm very sad. The sadness comes in waves. I've dealt with death before. I lost my paternal grandfather when I was a child. And my paternal grandmother I did not have the pleasure of knowing. She was killed while my dad was in the service, actually. So I wasn't even born. My grandmother, who we called Nanny, passed away a few years ago. Grandpa hasn't been alone. He's always been surrounded by family. It's a good family. It really is. Always looking out for each other in their own ways. This week, we knew something was going on. He was hospitalized for some complications. And I wasn't sure if I should schedule a time to go out, but over the weekend, we kind of decided that Diana and myself, I'd fly out, and this trip was scheduled for later in the week. I ended up booking that yesterday morning specifically when I was talking in the vlog about a personal thing, and I didn't make specific reference. So things went downhill pretty quickly yesterday. And I was in constant contact with my family, and I said, well, if it comes down to it, we could do like a video chat. And I was expecting we would do that today. But minutes later, maybe 10 minutes later, I get the call. I'm like, okay. So Ben basically held the tablet up, big screen, so that Grandpa could see it. He was in the room. My brother Adam was in the room. And I had a cousin in the room. And you could see that he was pretty far along. Health he pretty much. It's been a while since we've seen him, but he I think he could hear us. He was still conscious, obviously. I mean, he was still with us. And I said I'll be coming in on Thursday, if only to celebrate my brother Adam's birthday, which is coming up. And we told him something that not a lot of people knew. And that's not something I care to share with everybody right now. Maybe at some point in the future. But at that point, I could see his eye I think he was surprised. And I think he was happy. He tried to say something, and we couldn't tell what it was, but given that he'd always joke around with Diana, I can only imagine he was trying to. I think he was happy for what we told him. I wish I could have told him in person, but I'm very grateful that we had a chance to do that. I've always talked about how the best sides of technology are how it brings people together. And I was glad to have that moment. I had a chance to actually tell him goodbye. I have no problem with crying on camera. I have none. Because I'm human and I have feelings. I wouldn't be here if he hadn't lived and it was a full life. The sadness comes in waves. We figured that would be the last time we would talk to him. So we went about our night. I got home late at night, and I texted my family. We were kind of group chatting. No news. And Diana, she came up. She said, "Well, why don't you maybe to communicate, squeeze his hand and see if he squeezes back?" And I thought it was a good idea. And maybe 10 minutes or so later, Mom texted back, said, "Call me." So I figured we were going to talk through it, and she told me that they didn't expect him to make it through the night. But she was there. She was there. Family was there. Family was around him. He went quietly. She asked at that point if we wanted to say anything, and I wasn't expecting that, but I said, yeah. And we told him, well, we asked him, we made a very humble request that he do something for us. I'd like to believe he heard it, or will hear it. And that was it. Maybe 10 minutes later, he had passed. Tomorrow would have been my grandmother's birthday. So even Diana said it, and my brother Adam said it. I'm sure it crossed everybody's minds, like maybe he's holding on for that. So then I thought, and you gotta pardon, Pirillos were strange this way. We use humor to try to get through tough situations like this, and it's going to be a very tough week for me and my family. I don't know if they're even going to be able to watch this. I want to let them, give them a chance before I make it public, but it's painful, but I do my best to remember and celebrate life and the chances we had. If Grandpa hadn't had a Commodore VIC-20, my fascination with technology may have started with Santa when he brought home the Commodore 64. Or all the times that Grandpa in his workshop would carve up, and he had 2 workshops, he had one in the garage too. He'd carve up wood blocks and he would let us pound on them and create things in the backyard. So I was going to say, with the awkward sense of humor thing, maybe he went to surprise Nanny for her birthday. Just went a day before to surprise her, so... Because otherwise it wouldn't have been a surprise. She wouldn't have expected it tomorrow. I've got a lifetime of memories. And an amazing role model. That man, you think I'm always active. That man, I'm telling you, I think he's still moving. He's always active, always active. Always. So, this is pretty much likely the last time I'm going to talk about it in this way. I don't know how this next week is going to unfold. I know some people say take time off. They'll likely, and I appreciate your respect and well wishes. Understand that we all appreciate it. I may not have a chance to respond to anybody about it. Just know that we appreciate that and your discretion. This is how I choose to deal with this situation. This is my life. This is how I choose. Because I want people to know how much he impacted me. And people ask, who impacts you? And I think family's it. My mother, my father, my brothers, my grandfather. That's his legacy. I'm a small part of his legacy. He didn't, he didn't want much fuss in this time. That was his wish. A very humble man. And very modest. Respect is really, that's the word I would just want to underscore here. No matter what. Because this is something that at some point in the future, you're going to deal with if you haven't already dealt with it. And it's very personal. We all grieve in different ways, every one of us. If you want, you could watch the video that my parents recorded with him, world's oldest geek. It would mean a lot to me if you did, because I want you to know where I came from. Small sliver, just tiny sliver of where I came from. And I don't know if I really have anything else to say at this point.
We love you, Grandpa.